Absolutely. When did you decide that you wanted to be involved in the ministry?
I grew up on at Mission of Faith over on 113th and Prairie. Dr. Gibson was our pastor over there, and grew up Baptist, and used to go to this Bible study on Friday nights where Tony Myers was our youth director. And all through high school, bro, every Friday night she would have like taco salad, or she'd have like a movie or something. And she was just trying to get us off the streets. And going over there in Roseland is a challenge as is.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get to the church. But for me, bro, I was always involved somehow. And what I learned from Tony is she taught me how to actually have a voice, because like I said, I used to draw, I used to write, I could write poetry, things like that. I was this quiet kid. All I had was just J's and Cokes, and that was my voice. So being able to learn how to actually speak and talk and have a voice for myself and get passionate about it, and then add a little Jesus on top of it, was like, wow, this is pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? It was just a matter of just coming up on the South Side, bro, and just seeing how we made it and still making it. It was like, it ain't got nothing. It's got to be a God out there that's taking care of me and that's looking over me and making sure that I'm straight and making sure that I'm living and I'm making it. And I just wanted young people to be able to see that there are other opportunities, there are other options out there for them. So seeing the kids, we grew up with some of the cats that we grew up with, they ain't here no more because of the decisions that they made. So I was like, there has to be a better way, man, to show these kids and show these young men and young women that you can do something different with your life. And that's just what I wanted to do, is just be able to reach out to young people. And for me, I was just sick of tradition. I was sick of, you got to look a certain way. You got to wear this suit. If you got your shirt too short, then you ain't this. And I just wanted to just break that mold of what church looked like. And I was like, God, if that's what you want me to do, if that's how you're going to use me to just influence young people, then do that. And he's done that. He's done that over the past few years, man. And it's just been a phenomenal ride as far as just being able to relate to people and just be able to tell them the truth about who they are and encouraging them. And I just think it's something that I have no control over. It's just a matter of, it just uses me to be able to do that every day on different platforms, to just reach out to young folks, man.
How long have you been in the ministry?
I was licensed at the age of 19, bro. And I was licensed at the age of 19. The first year I went to the Marine Corps, I came back home and got licensed as a minister. So from then on, I've always been in ministry in some form. When I was in the Marines, I used to have Bible study in my barracks. And then after I got out of the Marine Corps, I was doing Bible study over the phone, and then having a church over in Orlando, Florida, and now doing it online, things like that. So I've always had some part of play in ministry in my life. And it may have not been consistently throughout all the time, but it's been consistently as far as being able to deliver the message and some type of hope to the youth, and everywhere I get a chance to be on any platform, bro.
Okay. Did you have to shut down your church completely during COVID? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. During COVID, and now it's just being online. And I think it's a blessing as well as a curse at times, where it's just like, man, it sucks to have the brick and mortar. But at the end of the day, now being able to reach even more people, being able to reach people that you'll never lay eyes on.
Okay.
Physically. And I think it's been a bigger outlet. It's been a blessing to be able to have folks that, I had a young lady who was reaching out to me from Texas the other day. It was like, yo, I look at your stuff every day, your little excerpts of what you do every day. I try to do just like an encouraging word of the day or reel of the day or something like that. And you don't realize how it reaches. And I think that was the one thing that I learned and learning now, where it's just a matter of being able to take the gospel through the nations is possible. And sadly, it took that to happen for the world to literally stop, but it was necessary. And so now it's an opportunity to be able to just go out there and just share with everybody, bro.
Do you think you'll ever go back to brick and mortar?
That's something I struggle with, bro. And that's just be transparent with you, bro. That's something I struggle with, because it's still a sense of it's definitely the forgiveness is there, but it's still a sense of hurt, because people don't realize, you know what I'm saying? Hurt people, and then church people hurt people. And I think that's one thing where going through what I went through in my life and being, there for people, and people don't realize, you know what I'm saying, for preachers and pastors and stuff like that, man, when you tell a pastor something or you tell a preacher something, they don't just go to bed with that if they're real about it. They praying over that thing. They tarrying all night with it. They take that into their own home, into their own bosom.
And it becomes a part of you.
It becomes a part of you, bro.
And let me say this, because I grew up in a church home.
Yep.
My mother came up under Reverend Dr. Mother Consuelo York. All right. I came up under her son. I used to be around her son a lot for like 3 or 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
And the amount of stuff he had to take on and deal with,
bro.
I understand the frustration at times. And I'm not saying he did this a lot, but when he would just get frustrated, he would just say certain things.
Yep.
And he would just he would pop sometime. I'll go, oh, I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
Yep. Yep.
I get it. Because I had an understanding
man.
that this man was taking on the responsibility of the whole flock.
Yeah, man.
He had to take on the good, the bad, and ugly. He had to pray for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And sometimes he had to have resolution for the good, the bad, and ugly. So I totally understand.
Yeah, bro.
And it, I don't know if it ever takes the joy out of what you guys do, but I know there's some struggle with it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know there's some struggle because I watch him sometimes go like, man, sometimes, and he told me this. He said, man, sometimes I should just let you slap these people. And I bust up laughing one day. He's like, I'm really considering. He was like, Matt, I'm really considering just letting you haul off.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, really? So tell me about this.
Tell me more.
Give me more information on this situation that you're talking about.
Sure.
And he said, sometimes people can be so selfish and nasty about their approach to wanting things done that they can't take a no.
Yeah.
Or they're upset that you can't resolve the issue for them right away when it's not necessarily your issue. You're just here to help them and pray for them sometimes, because sometimes there ain't nothing else for you to do.
That's it, bro. That's it. And I think that's the thing, bro. It's like for years, man, it's a matter of you get, unfortunately, you get used. You know what I'm saying? Folks coming to you, oh, my life's about to get turned off. And you go out there and you put yourself out there. And you put your own money out your own homes, you know what I'm saying, to help people and things like that. And then it's like the one time that you need somebody there to be there for you, they're not. They're too busy talking trash about you, things like that. But then it's like, even saying all this, I have to take a step back and be like, all right, it ain't about me. God, what you want me to do? How you want me to handle this? Where you want me to go next? Yeah. And still being able to have to push out the word and be hopeful and smile. But it's those days, bro. It's days that, I mean, preachers ain't always smiling. Preachers ain't always, you know what I'm saying, bumping Kirk Franklin all day. It's some Tupac days, bro. It's some days, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's some hit 'em up days.
Because I watched him. I was with him. We would listen. Me and this man, God rest his soul, John York. This man had me ride to Indiana with him one time, and then from Indiana, I think we went to Michigan, right? And it wasn't just no church music that was playing. It wasn't just church music that was playing.
Yeah, bro.
Like we in the car, we in a truck, all right, and we riding. He was like, "Is there anything you want to listen to?" I was like, "You don't want to hear what I want to listen to." And let me say this because on our way, someone said some really funky stuff to him and me.
Wow.
And one of the biggest things he had been working on with me was my temper. He was like, man, he would always quote the scripture about being slow to anger.
Yeah, bro.
He's like, you should always be slow to anger. He says, you should never let people get you upset. He said, because if they can get you upset and angry, they're in control now. And I was like, man, I pop off, I slap everybody's mama. Busta Rhymes, you know, like I'm like, man, I'm hot, you know. He's like, dude, you can't. He's like, woo-ha, I'm ready to go. So he's like, no. And he's like, that ain't how it work. He said, if you're always able to get upset at the drop of a dime, you're not in control. He said, even if you are ready to do something about the situation, you're still not in control because they have got you to the point where they're able to control how you react to everything.
Yeah, bro. Yep, that's right.
Just so happened this one day, this person got both of us hot.
Wow.
He got both of us hot. And I'm in the car, I'm not saying nothing. I'm in the truck, I'm not saying nothing. He's like, you want to stop and get something to eat? It's like, I don't care, man.
Yeah. We
go get some food, sit down, we're eating. He's like, how you feeling? It's like, I'm good, man. You know, short answer. You know how men get when they, I want some action. Exactly. I want some action. I really want some action right now. Right. So when we started driving out, he was like, let me tell you something. He said, I'm angry too. He said, but I've been dealing with these Negroes for so long that I know what to expect of them.
Wow.
He said, you can't sink to the level of everybody else. He said, you have to deal with people where they are, but stay above them. He said, because when you drop down, they're winning now.
That's right.
They got you at a level where they know how to operate, and that's not where you operate anymore.
Right.
And he said, once you start operating on their level, that's when they start winning. That's when they're able to say things and do things that you're not capable of doing. You probably can do it. He said, but in my position, I can't do that. I can't get dirty like that.
Yeah.
He said, do I want you to do something about it? Absolutely. Absolutely. He said, I got that at my beck and call.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. He said, we have to be the examples of what is right, not what's wrong.
Yeah, bro. That's
he
true.
said, because if every time something goes wrong and I look at you and I nod at you and you go off, people gonna think that's the constant, and that's not the way it goes. And he said, that's not what that's not what my God teaches. That's not what the Bible teaches.
Yeah, that's true, bro.
And I was like, man, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. I was like, niggas is not just gonna be disrespecting us. You know what I'm saying? Wherever we go, they just not gonna keep doing that, pimp. And he was like, I get it. So while we were riding, he's like, is there something you would like to listen to? And I said, I tell you what, I'm going to throw on this urban legend. This is a guy called T.I. I'm going to throw it on. There's a track called ASAP. And we're going to listen to this until we both feel better.
Yes, sir.
And by the end of this ride, I think he liked T.I.
That's it. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. But I get it, man. Being a pastor and being in the ministry, man, it's a very hard job, man.
Yeah, bro.
It's a very hard job. I watched this man toil. I watched this man pray for people that wasn't praying, that would say they were praying for him, and had so many bad things to say about him. I watched him try his best to deal with these situations, you know, and it's a very hard job. So I understand, you know, being able to do it from home is a blessing, and the age of the internet has allowed us to do so many different things to communicate with people and reach out to the world. So I understand that, but I wish you the best. I hope that it continues to grow still, and that you move forward and further than you've ever gone.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So